Everybody. Now, on our show tonight, this night of Wednesday, November 27, 2013, just a few days, or just a day, actually, just a day before Turkey Day, Thanksgiving. Lots to be thankful for this year, of course. This is our show number 15. We are just heading on up through our teenage years here on the show. I'm so glad that you could be with us to listen to the show. And whether you're listening to us on our Wednesday nights when we have our initial air date, or if you're just coming to us somewhere along the line, so glad that you've joined us. So on our show this evening, our featured sidekick, who we're just addicted to, my very own Edwina McMahon, as I'm calling her. She didn't know that, but I am. Edwina McMahon, worldwide dialect wizard and I Am Woman, Hear Me Roar actress, writer, independent producer Tuffet Schmelzle will be joining us shortly. And our featured guest tonight is health and fitness life coach Mello Childs. I mean, do I pick the sidekick and the guest with the best names? I mean, Tuffet Schmelzle and Mello Childs. I mean, it doesn't get any better than that. I need to change my name. I'm feeling Michael Taylor Grace a little boring, so I'm going to have to work that out. So now, if you want to talk about someone with an incredible bright light about them, it's our featured guest this evening, and our sidekick, of course, Tuffet. But our featured guest is a health and fitness life coach. He is ambitious, he's tenacious, and he's not only transformed his own life, he's on a personal quest to do the same for others as well. So we're really excited to have him on the show tonight, especially heading into Thanksgiving this week and the rest of the holiday season, which is the most challenging time of the year for most of us to stay on a healthy track and not veer off into the land of pies and cakes and cookies. And then we end up looking in the mirror at the end of the holiday season and think, yeah, you're thinking, ooh, I wouldn't go out with that person. And you take off your clothes and yeah, and that's all you hear. And that's your first day at the gym, and that doesn't really inspire you to go back. Now, speaking of tasty treats, before we bring on our favorite top of the show sidekick, Tuffet, I want to remind our listeners that if you have missed any of our past shows, you can listen to all of our previous show recordings at LNR Radio. That's LNRRADIO.com, LNRadio.com/OHMTG. Easy as pie. Speaking of holiday treats, and last week's show with featured guest, Hollywood commercial casting director Danielle Eskenazi, was one of our best. So make sure you check that out. She was just fantastic. And, of course, we had Tuffet, our sidekick, on the show for most of that. What? Well, she must be psychic. Speaking of psychic sidekicks. Hello, darling.
Oh, my goodness.
Girl.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Oh, I love you. I love you. What did you bring tonight? What is that? What are you holding?
I brought you a cranberry dessert wine that is all the rage in Thailand. Mm-hmm.
Cranberry dessert wine. Now
cranberry dessert wine.
I hope I don't spill that on my yellow shimmery pants, shorts.
Yeah, no, not your body pants.
No, my body pants, because
you can drink it and it won't affect your kidneys because it's got cranberry in it. Hello.
Oh. Well, I usually take my kidneys out when I drink anyway.
Healthy.
Well, I appreciate that. Yeah, I usually put my kidneys on the side when I'm drinking anyway.
I know. You just need the liver, that's all, pretty much.
Well, that's it. It's just a filter,
Yeah.
But speaking of filters, ironically enough, tonight's show is brought to you by Camel Cigarettes. the smooth taste of camel. Like Tuffet, it has no filter. I love it. I love it. And since this is a health and fitness night that we're celebrating and focusing on, I thought it would be very appropriate that our sponsor this evening be Camel cigarettes.
Yeah.
I think that works for you, doesn't it? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now, I want to remind our lovely studio audience who, the moment they see you, they are just wrapped. They can't hold themselves back. Now, yes, you are our returning sidekick, and you know what? I got down on both knees, not just one, both knees, and I asked you if you would, and so humbly I asked you if you would actually come on board and be our regular sidekick. And
I know.
What did you
it was like getting
say?
proposed to. It's magic.
Yeah. So I put a life-size body promise ring on you, and it does kind of impinge on your ability to move about a little bit, but you went with it, and I really appreciate it. And you did say yes, so thank you so much.
I know. I can finally go home and say, you know what? A man committed to me over Christmas, so the relatives will stop asking me.
Thank God, because they can be a little pushy.
I know.
But so those of you who are listening in on the show, you can always go back to, like I said earlier, just go to lnrradio.com /OHMTG, like OMTG, and you can see all the information about our show. And if you click on the hosts tab button, you'll be able to see everybody. You'll be seeing our producer, Christopher Taylor, who also has his own 2 shows now on LNR, The Muse, which is a music-based program, and his late-night rendezvous talk show that he does with Amanda Gary, who is, for those who are Hollywood aficionados, the granddaughter of Eddie Cantor, who is a huge star in Hollywood. Yeah, pretty amazing. And then you'll see soon, adding this week, our lovely Tuffet Schmelzle. And I just have a feeling that somewhere down the line, Tuffet's going to say, okay, OMTG, I've just grown out of my OMTG pants that I'm,
goodness.
my OMTG
Never.
shorts, and I'm going to get my own show. I just have a feeling.
Never.
Really?
My devotion to OMTG is eternal.
I love that about you. And I want to remind everybody just how brilliant you are. You're an actor, you're a voiceover artist, and you're a dialect coach, currently living in Los Angeles. You know, where you hang your hat is your home. I just have that feeling about you. Now, people should check out your most recent project online, the web series Tinsel's Town, which I think, right now, this being the holiday season, that's just the perfect title. So that, all the more reason to check it out. Tuffet, you are currently writing and producing your own upcoming project, After Harry. Now, last week, it's the story of one lonely geek girl's search for meaning when the Harry Potter movies are over. Now, last week, I listened to the show that we did last week, and I said the Harry Potty Movers.
Oh, my gosh. It was hysterical.
Yeah. I said Harry Potty Movers, and it's Harry Potter movies. So, but
it's a classic
I was like, wow.
MTG moment, in my opinion.
It was, and I hear myself when I say these things. And so I have to call that out. But I love your special name that you've given yourself for your private dialect coach persona, and that's the Dialect Geek. And I love that you offer personalized and authentic dialect coaching for theater, film, and television productions, as well as very personal one-on-one individual sessions, classes.
Yes, very much so.
Mm-hmm. And I have to remind you, you are just an all-around creative phenomenon. Phenomenon.
Thank you.
You are. I think you're fabulous. Now, as we move into our transition of talking about our fabulous topics for this evening, we always do transitions with a little sound cue. It makes things a lot easier. Because, challenges can be very, 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 I mean, transitions can be very challenging. And sometimes they make us a little, but we like to pick things up and be positive. So I'm going to throw some things out to you about what's happening out in the world. I'm going to get
I've been wanting to discuss.
Yeah. Now, first off, what are your feelings about, President Obama is now in Los Angeles as of today. From what I understand,
he left today.
Oh, he did leave today.
He was actually. Yeah, he left on Tuesday.
Oh, you see, the days fly by so fast.
No,
so he came in on Tuesday. Yeah. And
came in on Monday.
He came in on Tuesday. That's right. He came in on Monday, ladies and gentlemen, Tuffet is our official correspondent, and she does this little thing called research. Yeah, and I'm just handed paper. I am just handed paper, and I kind of hand it to myself. So sometimes I run into myself, and papers go flying. So anyway, yeah. So Monday and then Tuesday, and then he left. But and things get a little snarled, traffic, and people get all uppity, and they get all beside themselves. And I'm like, he's the president wherever he goes. The taxpayer.
No, but
the taxpayers are paying
such a nightmare.
I know it's tough. It's tough.
The thing is, okay. Here's my thing with President Obama coming in town and causing all sorts of bad traffic. It would be one thing if he was giving a speech to a big, group, community group down in Compton of like how to work the healthcare.gov website so that we can all be up to speed on the Affordable Care Act. But it wasn't that. It was fundraising. And that's when I go, hey, wait a minute. I have to deal with it.
But,
like 3+ hours of additional traffic because of fundraising. Wait.
But wasn't he also working on awareness for immigration law reforms, I believe?
That was the topic of the fundraisers, but that wasn't like this wasn't community service.
People, and I'm not an Obama apologist. So before people get all, their panties in a bunch and twist them around and have to get a new pair, don't blame it on me. Yeah, I know, I hear you. But this is nothing new, and he's got to take. He's a politician as well as everybody else, and they've got to take advantage of the moment. And yeah, the topic is immigration reform. So I think it's important. I think that's important. And if he was just raising money for some particular candidate to get reelected, then I'd have been like, really?
Really? Yeah.
Yeah, I'd have lost it. But yeah, I just it just seems to me that no matter what he does, where he goes, it's just they act like, oh my God, this is the first time a president has ever come into town and they've had to reroute traffic and blah, 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 blah. So I'm like, what the hell? So moving along. I know. Blah, 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 blah. Sandy, we're almost a year later to the Sandy Hook Elementary shooting, where 20 children, 6 female educators, and there was like the school psychologist, the principal, and 4 teachers, I believe, were killed, plus the shooter. And I won't say his name because I don't want to give any more focus on that individual per se. So I'm just going to use generic terms for that individual. And he also killed his mother before he went to school. So, and from what we're hearing from the report that was just released, that this killer was obsessed with mass murders, assembling articles, photos, books, footage, and violent video games, including one in which players gunned down students in school. He even kept a spreadsheet ranking mass murders. And part of my issue with the coverage of the story right now and how it's being dealt with is image-wise. Why does the media insist on posting the most creepy, bug-eyed photo of this guy who looks like he's 15, right? And it's such a creepy bug. I mean, why? Why do they insist? Like, it's not horrific enough. They have to magnify it for some. It just seems like it's so manipulative, and it really pisses me off, and it dishonors the lives that were lost. And I just think I just don't get it. And they're like, well, the thing is, the biggest question is, we'll never know why. Well, there's a lot of clues to why he did this. We don't need to talk to him personally to understand. This person had some real mental and emotional issues. I mean, deep.
Yep.
And then the picture of that gun, Tuffet. That picture of that gun.
I know.
Can you imagine?
And don't you love how the media is saying, this is what really does upset me, is that I get it. You have a ratings mandate. You are a for-profit company, and you've got to get in the eyeballs. I understand that. But do we really, there's such a fine distinction between sensationalizing that which is awful, the worst part of humanity, versus reporting on it.
Yeah.
I think there's such a distinct line between the two, and the year anniversary, why aren't we spending time celebrating the people that died and how their families moved on, and the foundations that have been formed, and the awareness of mental illness and how we progressed as a country as far as accepting and treating and preventing and coping with mental illness? No. We want to vilify and we want to sensationalize so we can get in the viewers and
show the gun,
have everything in this culture of fear continue to go. Yeah.
Exactly. exactly. And it's just, and we're nowhere closer to any kind of rural gun reform in this country. And that just,
In addition to that, we're not any closer to a national discussion about mental health and how we really need to redefine mental health and destigmatize that.
Yeah. Yeah, and I just feel, I have a very good friend from high school who has 2 children, and her son, has a form of Asperger's as well. And I'm like, oh my God, what's going through her mind is that that condition is being spoken about and it's being tied to this horrific event and this particular disturbed individual. Now, are people going to, is that going to affect how her son lives in his world and how she has to adjust? So that's something I want to discuss with her, because I'm just like, all they do is they keep instilling the fear without really trying to educate people. It's all emotion based. It's all about getting a reaction. And I think when not so many years ago, when the news department at our networks and our and all these conglomerates that have overtaken all of our publications, all of our news publications, whether it be print, electronic, or otherwise, when they shifted everything over into the entertainment department, and news now has to make a profit. It's not about getting it right; it's about getting it first, and that's really disturbing to me. So I'm hoping that people spend more time raising their voices and questioning, and not just digesting all of this sensationalism and thinking that is the full story that needs to be told. So,
Yes.
But I've also, there's been so much going on here as we get here towards the end of the year, and I look at how we're like, things are in the news for like 5 minutes, and then we get bored and we have to move on to something else. But some of these things that happen deserve to keep having our attention put on them, because people, the magnitude of things. And I'm thinking, you were just in Bali, you were just in New Zealand, right, during that commercial. Were you there? Was that shortly after, or was that during when the typhoon hit? Was that right after the typhoon hit in the Philippines? Typhoon Haiyan?
It was right after.
Okay. What was the reaction there to all of that? Were people really kind of rallying and doing what they could to help out? What was the reaction of your Kiwi friends there that you made?
Well, exactly. The reaction of the New Zealanders was, this is about community, and let's get together and do what we can. There's this genuine sense of civic responsibility and there being an us that's significantly larger than just New Zealand. There's almost like they take humanity and being a human being, and we're all connected as human beings, I think much more day-to-day seriously than we as Americans do. We as Americans are trained to be ambitious and to be individuals and to continue for that excellence on an everyday basis. Whereas New Zealanders, they don't quite go, at least the ones that I encountered, they don't quite shoot for the stars the same way that we do, but they have a stronger sense of community and of helping out their neighbors than we do. So it balances a little bit. But they were very concerned about, like, let's get in there. Let's do as much as we can. Everybody can help. Everybody can help.
I looked at the latest reports, and some of the reports saying that there are an estimated 10,000 casualties and in excess of 9 million people affected. Typhoon Haiyan is one of the most devastating storms ever to make landfall. And with the Red Cross and other agencies saying they expect the number of casualties and total damage from the storm to soar, there are, what I was happy to find, that there are many organizations who are stepping up to provide relief to the victims and the families of Haiyan. Some of which include, and I want to put this out there. So some of these organizations people may be very familiar with. Some of them they may not. But so you have a multitude of choices here to look into, so if you can help out in some way. Of course, we're very familiar here with the American Red Cross. So I'm going to say these, I'm going to kind of throw these out, and you may be aware of some of these too, and you may have something to add to this. Now, some of these organizations, they do specific things. So the American Red Cross is sending support specialists to help the hardest hit areas. So if that's something that people want to donate to, check out the American Red Cross. And then there's Direct Relief International. Direct Relief is collaborating with its partner on the ground, Asia America Initiative, that's AAI. The donation contains antibiotics, pain relievers, nutritional supplements, antifungal medications, wound dressings, and chronic disease medicines, which I think that's especially important. Direct Relief International, in association with Asia America Initiative, those kind of donations those medical kind of donations, because it's the people who survive, who are injured, and all these diseases that can crop up after the fact because they don't have their basic resources at their hest. So it's that, I think, is a good one to look into. Then there's global giving. Initially, the fund will help first responders meet survivors' immediate needs for food, fuel, clean water, hygiene products, and shelter. And once initial relief is complete, this fund will transition to support longer-term Haiyan recovery efforts run by local vetted Filipino organizations. Now, that, to me, that's another really well-thought-out organization in terms of the spectrum of what needs to be done, because it's not just the initial reaction, it's the follow-through as well. So global giving has a really wide, a nice wide spectrum of their approach. Then you have Mercy Corps, as in like Peace Corps. Mercy Corps is launching immediate relief efforts after one of the strongest storms in recorded history that devastated the Philippines. So they got there right away. And then you have Oxfam. Its rapid assessment teams are poised to provide emergency supplies and shelter in parts of the Philippines hardest hit by the typhoon. Have you heard of Oxfam?
I have heard of Oxfam, yes.
Okay. I guess that's
a great organization. My sister previously worked at the National Center for Victims of Crime in D.C., so I am familiar with a lot of these organizations because she would refer people that would call in quite a bit to different organizations, different nonprofits that she felt that could help them or address whatever problem they were encountering at that point.
Well, we'll use her as a little sounding board. We will.
Yeah.
So if we have any questions about that. Then we have three more. We have Shelterbox. Shelterbox donations designated towards Shelterbox's Typhoon Haiyan relief efforts will be used to supply the most vital equipment needed and will not be assigned box tracking numbers. Each Shelterbox supplies an extended family with a tent and essential equipment to use while they are displaced or homeless. Again, meeting a very specific need because so many people were displaced. So they need basic shelter, basic needs taken care of. So I love that particular organization. I think that's terrific. And then we have UNICEF is working to provide safe water, hygiene supplies, food, shelter, and a safe environment to recover. So I think between them and Shelterbox combined efforts, that's terrific. And then we have the World Food Program, WFP, is mobilizing quickly to reach those in need, and you can make donations now to provide emergency food assistance to families and children to the World Food Program. So that's just, that's great that there are all of these kinds of organizations that really cover a broad spectrum in terms of like immediate relief, immediate medical needs, basic shelter, hygiene, water, all that, and then long-term needs. So, as I say, in this age of 5 minutes, ring the bell, and then you have squirrel. Oh, another news story, squirrel. Look over here. Lindsay Lohan went to a party without her underwear. Oh, that's more important.
Absolutely.
So I'm not digging on Lindsay because I know people do dig on her a lot. So, Lindsay, I'm sorry, I wasn't picking on you. I'm just saying the media is irresponsible in terms of what they sometimes the lamestream media, as we call them sometimes. So anyway, so there's that. So thank you, Tuffet, for being so well informed. Thank your sister for the efforts that she does in the organizations that she helps connect people to. I think that's so important. So my God, I'm so blessed to have you on the show.
Oh my God!
Yeah, I just think you're terrific. So next up, we have a fun game that you're so talented at.
When you hear oh my God!
Word up. Okay, the word up is a word-mind association game where I'll say a word, a name, or a phrase, and I ask my opening Edwina McMahon How'd you like that? Did you like that?
Oh my God, that's so good.
Edwina McMahon.
All right.
Right?
Start doing the voice.
Right.
All right.
Hey,
Exactly.
you are correct, sir. And I will ask my opening sidekick to say the first thing that comes to mind. Or even the first thing that just doesn't come to mind. Whatever. It's up to you.
Whatever.
Okay, you ready?
Whatever.
You ready?
Yeah.
Here goes. Your first word, name, or phrase. Restraint.
Oh. Oh, gosh. The way I need to be right now with the lawyers from Oklahoma for Hobby Lobby that are taking this case to the Supreme Court about not wanting to provide contraception and their health care options to their employees, yeah, I need a certain amount of restraint.
Oh. Really?
I was infuriated.
Really?
And I'm just infuriated. There's a tear I could go on, and I won't. But let's just say, when will it stop, this need to control women's bodies? When will it stop?
I tell you, it makes you want to, it does.
It makes me, what's the song that you have?
Honey,
The fun one?
if those legislators don't stop messing with us, this is what Tuffet and I are about to do.
I'm about to whip somebody's ass. Oh, I'm about to whip somebody's ass. Oh, if you don't leave me alone, you're gonna have to send me home, 'cause I'm about to whip somebody's ass.
That's right.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
Very good. Good point. Your next word. I think I see our guest. He doesn't drive a car because he is just.
Is he a hipster?
Honey, well,
because
he's in phenomenal shape. He, the movie Avatar. I swear, I think he's the prototype for the Avatar.
Oh my God!
Yeah, it's phenomenal. I think he's running at a gazelle-like pace. I see him. Well, if you ask him nicely, I think he probably will let you. He's lovely. So I see him way off in the distance, but he's got a little light, it blinks on his cap. So I know that's him. And it's sending me like a Morse code saying, Michael, I'm on my way. Michael, I'm on my way. So we're going to get through our list here before we bring him on. And
okay.
Yeah, so word up, your next word, name or phrase. Traditions.
Oh, holidays.
Oh. You sounded really, really like just sentimental and just warm and cozy when you said that.
Oh, yes. I think every family has some hilarious traditions that they're exclusive to their own family. That you think, oh, that's so weird when you're a teenager, and then you go back home or you experience it every year, especially at this time, and there's something wonderfully comforting and joyful about it.
Oh, that's sweet. That made me all warm and cozy. Your next word, name, or phrase. Family.
Dysfunctional.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, right? Yeah, dysfunctional family.
Mm-hmm.
But that it also gives us character.
Yeah.
So I don't know many people with completely functional families, so I don't feel alone at all. Okay, your next word, name or phrase. Expectations.
Oh, my mother.
Back to family. I love
back to it's the holidays, but it's my mother.
That was rich. That really had a lot.
Oh my goodness.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
Oh wow. We'll have that's a mark that down because that's
a whole other show
of itself. We're going to have a show. Tuffet Schmelzle. My mother. That's all we're going to call it. My mother. Okay.
Yep.
Count on it. So your last word, name or phrase. Rush Limbaugh.
Satan's mistress.
What?
Satan's mistress.
Satan's mistress. Oh, Satan's bitch.
Yes.
I love it. Not
Satan's bitch. As the man has sold his soul in order to be that pretty person that gets a whole bunch of gifts and is a, quote, kept woman, but doesn't get any of the privileges.
Wow, you're smart. You're so smart. Yeah. Now that is lovely, direct on assessment of Rush Limbaugh, who recently, just the other day, used a rape analogy regarding the filibuster reform talks that are going in the Senate. So that leads us to our magical segment here as we segue into Shitz and Giggles. Shits and giggles are crap that makes you laugh, but unfortunately, this slice of life moment that happened this week is not funny at all. It's stunningly jaw-dropping, reckless, and callous. This is from HuffingtonPost.com, the article titled "Rush Limbaugh Invokes Rape Analogy to Criticize Filibuster Reform." And for those who are wondering, what the hell is filibuster? Well, in the United States politics, the use of irregular or obstructive tactics by a member of a legislative assembly, the Senate in this case, to prevent the adoption of a measure generally favored or force a decision against the will of the majority. It's usually an exceptionally long speech, as one lasting for a day or days, or a series of such speeches to accomplish this purpose of preventing a particular legislation being voted on. Now, in 1957, Representative Strom Thurmond, Republican, North Carolina, launched the longest one-man filibuster in history, speaking for more than 24 hours to block, get this, the Civil Rights Act of 1957. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Now, moving along, Rush Limbaugh invoked a rape analogy on Friday to criticize President Obama's move to support filibuster reform. On Thursday, November 21st, President Obama expressed his support for Senate Democrats voting to require just 51 votes, as opposed to 60, a supermajority, to approve judicial and executive nominees. Limbaugh compared them to a group of people where the majority decides it is okay to rape women. He said, "Let's forget the Senate for a minute," Limbaugh began. He told his listeners to imagine a group of 10 people with 6 men and 4 women. The group has a rule that the men cannot rape the women, he said. The group also has a rule that says any rule that will be changed must require 6 votes of the 10 to change the rule. The radio host continued. Every now and then, some lunatic in the group proposes to change the rule to allow women to be raped. But they never were able to get 6 votes for it. There were always the 4 women voting against it, and they always found 2 guys. While the guy that kept proposing that women be raped finally got tired of it, and he was in the majority, and he was the one that said, you know what, we're going to change the rule. Now all we need is 5. And well, you can't do that. Yes, we are. We're the majority. We're changing the rule. And then they vote. Can the women be raped? Well, all it would take then is half of the room. You can change the rule to say 3. You can change the rule to say 3 people want it. It's going to happen. When the majority can change the rules, there aren't any, Limbaugh concluded. He added that Obama was only changing the rule because he can't get what he wants democratically, even though he was elected democratically. Now, as Politico noted, his comments were met with swift backlash on Twitter, some of which included these posts. Limbaugh, once again, proving he's a disgrace. Rush Limbaugh uses rape analogy on filibuster. Another one. No, Rush Limbaugh, only rape is rape. Please respect victims and survivors of this horrific crime by refraining from false analogies. And lastly, Rush Limbaugh doesn't understand rape or filibusters. And I think that really kind of wraps it up. Fire this man. Get him off the air. He's dangerous. I think he's a disgrace. And he's obsessed. He's obsessed with violence and rape. And I mean, what? And I just think, is it just a coincidence, do you think, that our president is black and he's invoking rape and black president, dangerous black man, rape, It's like all these underlying, these call to arms, fear, and these associations that he knows damn well what he's doing.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just
Limbaugh is another one in the long line of what we've seen in the last 20 to 30 years, with this culture of fear and immediate gratification that tends to oversimplify really complex issues.
Yeah.
And it's exactly like what you were talking about earlier when you're saying the news media cycle only lasting 5 minutes. It would be great to say, I'm going to give my money to the typhoon victims, and then that's it. It's like, no, humanity and how we interact and how we relate to each other, it's far more complex. But unfortunately, people like Rush Limbaugh and not just him, but there's so many in the media that say, no, it's possible for things to be simple. It's possible for things to be black and white. And anybody that tells you different is an elitist punk that's lying to you.
Yeah.
That's why.
If there's any kind of nuance,
I think that he needs to make sure.
Yeah.
I mean, I do honor his First Amendment rights for free speech, and I do. You know, if you want to have a radio show, great. I'm astonished that there are
but
people
that still
want to
It's
fund him.
not an even playing field. You know, years ago, when the FAA, some of the rules were changed, and you don't have equal airtime. There are markets in the United States where you go through Texas, I swear to God, and all you hear is Rush Limbaugh on it. You won't hear any progressive radio at all. So it's not an even playing field. So while I support you in what you said, the First Amendment right, I don't think I think it's really there are bigger issues that need to be dealt with in terms of making it more of an even playing field, so more voices are heard. Because I personally have a personal stake in this, because my father, I know for a fact, back in Canton, Ohio, listens to Rush Limbaugh, and it just breaks my heart to know that you know that stirs the hornet's nest, and you know and gets their blood boiling, and and they're probably sitting there like they're watching a football game. But that being said, that's enough of that. We're getting a little serious. So, you know, when I hear the doorbell, it's like Pavlov's dogs. I get really excited. I think we have another. Mello, is that you?
Hello, hey, how you doing, Michael?
Mello Childs, ladies and gentlemen, Mello Childs.
Oh my God!
Did I say hi to Tuffet?
How you guys doing?
We're good.
His thighs are unreal. Do you see that? Oh my God! I think you're made of granite.
Tuffet would like to touch your thighs, if that's okay.
That's fine. That's perfectly fine with me.
Oh, I told you, if you ask him nice, he's very much a gentleman. You know, let's introduce Mello to our audience, because they're little audience. Mello has just arrived. Wake up! Quit staring at him. Oh, our audience, they're just mesmerized by you, Mello. You have that power. Now, let's read our bio that you were gracious enough to send us, so I can give our audience a little bit of an education of where you come from and where you are now and what's going on with you. Mello Childs, I love that name, Mello Childs. I mean, doesn't it just calm you right off the bat, Tuffet? You're like, Mello Childs. Right? You want to just look into his eyes and believe everything he says. Yeah. Mello Childs was born in Chicago and raised by a humble, hardworking Midwest family, not unlike us. The roots of his ancestry would not allow him to live below his ability, and the spark to be something special would not allow him to rest. Isn't that beautiful? That's awesome. Poetry. That was so well. Mello is no stranger to fitness, having played football and running track throughout high school and college, which taught him the importance of maintaining good health and fitness. Mello has more than 10 years of experience in sports and fitness. Prior to becoming a health coach, Mello spent 2 years in college training and competing as a collegiate athlete. As a health coach, Mello works to help develop not only good physical health for his clients, but also helps his clients develop a good sense of self and a positive outlook on life. So I think, that's just terrific. Mello, thank you so much, man, for joining the show tonight.
You're more than welcome. Thank you for having me. I really appreciate it. It's an honor, Michael.
It's my pleasure, and as I tell all my guests, thanks for being had. So, ladies and gentlemen, are you still there? So what I love about you, Mello, and Tuffet, when you get a chance to meet him in person, because we are with the magic of radio right now in different studios. He takes your hand, and he doesn't shake just with one hand. He takes that hand, and he puts his other hand over your hand. So he shakes with both of his hands. Yes. And
so, Mello, you just absorb someone. You're not just like, I'm just going to meet you, yeah, whatever. I'm really looking you in the eye and recognizing you're a human being.
Yes. Yes. When you say so, Mello?
100%. 100%. I feel like, when you meet someone, gone are the days, we're really disconnected now in society, right? We have technology, cell phones, even like we're doing this radio interview. It's amazing, but what happened to the human connection. So I think that's just something I wear on my sleeve. So.
Well, I thought that really stood out. And when I first met you, we both go to what some of my friends called a D-list celebrity gym in Hollywood, and so I saw this young man there, and he's very striking, and he's very bright. It's a real bright light about him, and he's got and he is just in terrific shape. And I always get, I'm a real people watcher, and I always see what people do, and if they're in great shape, I look at the routines that they do, and I'm like, okay, you steal from the best, baby, steal from the best. I should say borrow from the best. But I just felt compelled to come up to him and say, whatever you're doing, it's working. You look fantastic. And that's when he shook my hand like that. And it just went, wow, I want to know this person. And I got to talk to Mello a little bit. And he told me a little bit about what he's doing. And I said, I have to have you on the show. I said, especially going in the holiday season, it's a really challenging time for most of us to stay healthy because we have so many tantalizing treats being thrown at us right and left. And, oh, come on, just have a piece of pie. It's just one piece.
And food obligations.
Yes. Yeah. So he's here to help guide us. But before we get into all of that, I always love to send my guests, as Tuffet knows, send a little, communication before the show, kind of saying, hey, tell me a little bit about yourself. What makes you tick? What's your bucket list? What are issues that you love, or what are you passionate about? And it always amazes me, because to me that's the most revealing aspect of who you are, and that's really what I want to talk about, And so I love how you mentioned Mello, how you mentioned that music and dancing are give you a lot of joy. And I want to know, how have music and dancing shaped and influenced your life? Because you mentioned those to me as two of your passions in life. So what about music and dancing in particular is important to you, and how is it important to you? How do you express it?
I think for music, obviously dancing goes hand in hand, but music in itself is another art form where you can be free and create and express yourself. It's a medium like none other, and even if you're not able to sing amazing, like a diva like Beyonce or even some of the vets, if you're not able to sing like that, you still have a way of expressing. I think that's a human connection that just really dig deep down into our soul, who we are, when we're able to do that. So I was really attracted to music early on. It started, my father and my uncle, they always sang, so I grew up hearing them sing old school, a cappella doo-wop songs. I'm originally from Chicago, so the city of soul music. So I grew up with that at an early age, so it really touched me from there.
Oh, I love it. So do you have, do you have desires to do music? Do you incorporate that into your workouts? Do you incorporate that into your life coaching, your health coaching? Does music play a part in that process for you as well? Because I know, like, when I work out, I have to have music.
Yeah, music has always been a part of my life. I think, that's a passion that I definitely am pursuing as far as music in itself, singing and songwriting. As far as fitness, obviously we know if we have that one song that really motivates us, or even a host of songs that motivate us, that can become our theme track, right? Our theme song. So it can go hand in hand, especially when you're working out and in the gym. You need something to just really pump you up. You put on some really, some heavy music with a deep bass, or really blaring, guitar riffs. That can all get us charged up with the, adrenaline when we're doing workouts. So, it can go hand in hand. I use it from time to time. But I'm always having music or some type of melody in my head, even if I'm not listening to it. So.
Well, that's good. Because sometimes we have more than music in our head. We have voices in our head, but that's a whole other show.
I think
that's a whole other show.
Right? I may have to back and talk about that one,
Yeah. Now, do you ever, bust a move at the gym? Because sometimes I see people really getting into their music, and they're like busting a move, and it's like they're auditioning for, so you think you can dance. Do you find yourself doing that, or are you a little more restrained? I love it. I love it when somebody's so. I did that a little myself today. I did. I was like,
did you? To what song?
I did. Well, I think it was Britney's "You Better Work, Bitch."
Of course it was.
I'm just saying. I mean, you better work.
Hey.
Yeah. So yeah.
I think that's enough to motivate anybody with Britney screaming that at somebody, right?
Well, when I say you better twerk, bitch, I do twerk.
That's even better. Let's get it in.
Thank you for giving me props for that. I appreciate that. My audience is going to get a copy of Britney Spears' new album and a copy of every moment that Miley Cyrus has twerked. Here you go. That's because I like giving back to my audience. So that's great. I love that. So that if we get the chance to if I get a chance to work with you in this realm of health coaching, because I love what you've done, the transformation you personally have done. So I would love to explore that with you too. So we have to incorporate music and some twerking into our routine. I'm just letting you know that. Okay. All right. Just mark that down.
I'm all about adding whatever motivates us, so I'm down with that. Let's go.
You better twerk. Okay, I love it. And another thing, and you laughed, which is a perfect lead into our next little ditty about you, which I love. What makes you laugh? What makes Mello laugh? And how has laughter affected you emotionally, spiritually, and physically?
Oh, that's really you went deep on me right there, Michael.
Right, honey, I'm taking that spoon and I'm digging deep into that ice cream because I don't want to. I'm not surf. I want a big old scoop. So we want to really know what makes Mello tick because you just fascinate me, and I really want to get to what is special about you because I want everybody to get excited about you.
Right. Awesome. I mean, I think humor, as we know, humor is borderline to reality. Some things that's near to tears, right? So I'd say a lot of things that move me as far as humor is like just dry humor, sarcasm, because it borderlines like reality, right? But that's like some of my favorite things. Like on some of my Instagram posts, I have like a dry humor comment or video that I post, and no laughing, no smiles, but inside, the joke is at the bottom line. So I think that's the type of laughter I love when you laughing inside, and your face is just like kind of stone cold, But that's my favorite humor.
Is somebody tap dancing on your phone? What's that?
I'm not sure.
Is that you, Tuffet?
I don't think so.
Do you hear that? It's like somebody's tap dancing in the background. We have spirits.
I don't hear it, but oh my gosh, the voices in your head are back again.
Oh
really?
My God!
Every time you go for those tap dancers at the gym, this happens.
It's just me again. I love it. I love it. What a world in my head. What a world. I'm hearing things nobody else does, but they're real. Okay, so. Yeah, so dry humor. You like your humor like I like my martinis. Dry. I love it. What was that? And are there any? Are there any talk show hosts that particularly make you laugh?
I mean, I would not. I mean, I couldn't really say because I don't watch much talk show.
Anyone that you're talking to right now, perhaps?
Man, of course, you, Michael. I mean,
my God!
He's good.
You know what? I think that's why you and I get along pretty well. Cause, I get it.
Yes, you're dreaming. Yeah, we do. We get each other. You get my humor. Yeah, my humor sometimes it's like the Sahara Desert, a little dry. A little dry, and sometimes it's just like sopping wet, and it's a little too much. That's okay. So
my gosh!
I might have been fishing for it in that moment. I don't know. I tried to be as subtle as I could, but I love how you just. I don't know. I don't really watch any. I'm like, you're on a show right now.
You're a master of subtlety. A master. Wow.
I have a doctorate in subtlety. I'm the only one in the world who's ever gotten that degree. So nobody really knows about it except for me. Yeah. What are you going to do? Now, so I love all those aspects of you, because those are such universal qualities that you really embrace, and I think you instill those with the people that you come across as well. So I love how your love of music, your love of dancing, your love of movement, all those things, and laughter. And to me, that really helps shape the joy you are, because I keep describing you as a really bright light. And so all of those things, music, dancing, laughter, those have been very important healing factors in my life as well. So I think that we have that kind of connection when it comes to that. So I think a lot of people will agree with that, and I love that you incorporate that into your life on a daily basis.
I appreciate it. Yeah, big time.
Now, what drives you, Mello Childs? What drives you from within to help others? Because that's a big thing that seems to be a really driving force in your life. Where does that desire to positively affect the world around you, where does that come from?
It started at a young age. It came from my parents, really. You know, my parents were really hardworking, and my mom, I'd say probably more so. She always, my mom was the type of person that she would literally avoid hurting someone else, and she would take the brunt of any pain, and just to make sure that the next person is able to, you know, be okay. And I think that from an early age, and her teaching me that type of connection for humanity and just for mankind, like, that was big for me, you know, being raised like that as a younger kid. So also I'm an older brother, you know what I mean, so I was protector overall. So having that type of environment and that type of morality instilled in me at a young age, man, it's really a part of who I am, you know.
Now, is your mother still with us?
She is. She's still with us.
Now, what kind of was she a full-time mom, or was there some kind of vocation that she had? What kind of work did she do? Where you think that kind of that motivation to protect others first and sort of take the brunt of any kind of negative consequences, so that other people wouldn't be affected by this much? Where do you think that came from for her?
Well, I'd say this. First of all, my mom was in the Air Force, and she was a nurse. So she was a nurse, her entire life, since, that was her vocation. So that's really, I think, probably where it came from, Being a protector.
Caregiving instinct, yeah.
Yeah.
That's pretty incredible. Wow. And how old are you, young man?
How old am I?
Mm-hmm.
You're getting carded. How old are you?
You're getting carded at the door.
You want real age, or you want my the way I look?
No. You are incredible. We love you.
So Hollywood, I love it.
You don't need to do that. You don't need to Hollywood Schmollywood. It's real. You're a real person. Yeah.
Okay, I'm just joking with you. I'm 36 years of age.
36, and he looks doesn't he look like he's 26? Tuffet.
Oh my God, he looks like an infant.
Yeah.
Are you kidding me?
You are so yeah, and you're so grounded and really so put together. I'm just God bless your mom. When I get a chance to talk with her one of these days, and I will, I'm going to say good job, Mom, and your dad too. Great job. She did a great job.
I really appreciate it. Yeah.
Parents need to hear that.
Chicago. Yeah.
Yeah, and my dad was in the Air Force, so we have that in common. So your mom and my dad. Yeah. So now your mom, was she stationed here in the United States, or did she get a chance to be outside of the United States when she was in the Air Force?
Yeah, she was just stationed here in the States. Quickly, she was stationed here in the States, and then my younger brothers came, and then she was medically discharged. But so her time in the Air Force was a nice time, but not a lengthy, retirement type of career in the Air Force. But it was in the States though.
Now, being a nurse, did she deliver her own babies? She's an independent woman.
Obviously.
Delivering my own child.
She handled all that. She had all three of us, no problem. Just, she
She's
didn't
like,
have to go to.
I got this. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, 3 boys?
3 boys. Yep.
Oh,
just like
your poor mother.
No
She's
kidding.
desperate for a girl. I hope she gets grandchildren and that she can have a little girl to have some fun with.
Yeah,
well, Mello has a lovely young lady in his life. He's not married yet, ladies and gentlemen. He's not married yet. So, ladies out there, I'm not trying to impinge on your relationship that you have going right now, but he is not married, but he is.
Okay, so what you're saying is there's a chance. Is that what you're saying? Okay, I'll take that.
I'm just saying, Mello Childs is quite a prize, and whether this lady now ends up being the one, I mean, hey, go for it. Mello, do you like how I'm just sort of shaping your life here while you're on the show? This is a life-changing moment for you.
I feel like a ball of clay in your hand right now.
You are, but I'm treating you with great care, and because I do. There's something about you that is just very, very special. So I want the best for you. So so you're welcome, and I hope your girlfriend understands that I'm not trying to impinge on your relationship, and that she doesn't come over here and try to kick my ass. I got my door double locked.
Kick my ass because I'm the one that's molesting your thighs. Because he might be clay, but he is chiseled clay. What? How do you get like that? I need to. Is there a really super quick? I think this is for every listener. We want to know. Since it's the holidays, is there a really quick way that we can just be totally toned and awesome? Because I kind of don't want to do the whole workout every day for the rest of my life thing. Yeah.
Let me explain to that. Now, obviously, we know most things that's quick fixes are temporary, right? So what I really do is with my clients, I help them focus on their lifestyle. It's really a lifestyle change. So what I do as far as working with nutrition is a big deal. That plays a big key in your development or transformation. What I will tell you, since you brought it up, you said you don't want to be in the gym a lot. 80% of getting the body or the health that we want is nutrition. So I will tell you that. So you're winning that.
Wow.
So anyone who's willing to, lead a more healthier lifestyle, if they're really focused on the nutrition, that's a big part of it. So,
or as I say, Mello, as I say, PDTT.
What is that?
Put down the Twinkie.
Oh.
Put down the Twinkie. Yeah, because he's right. 80% is nutrition. Thank you. You can borrow that. I just made it up.
I'm gonna write that down right now.
PDTT. Put down the Twinkie. Mm-hmm.
Put down
and
the
I'm
Twinkie.
not talking the young, and I'm not talking the little 18-year-old, 80-pound young man in West Hollywood.
Yeah.
Not that Twinkie. Talking the packaged one you get at the store.
Mm-hmm. There you go.
He's like, what the hell did I get myself into? So speaking of transformations, what spurred, and going along here with the wonderful Tuffet, who's putting us on track and getting to the heart of why you're on in the first place, what spurred your recent mind, body, spirit transformation? I mean, how do you keep yourself centered, grounded, and motivated? Take us from the point where you said, I got to do something, because I've seen your before pictures, and they're nothing to sneeze at, but where you are now, wow. That's fantastic.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
Mm-hmm.
It all comes down to when I talk to, for example, anyone who's interested in a transformation, it's all about your why, your reason. Mm-hmm. And when your reason is more important than where you currently are, that's when you'll make change, right? Mm-hmm. So what that really comes down to is hitting that level where enough is enough, and that's where I was. I'd say a year ago this month, I was just really evaluating where I was, physically, just where I wanted to be, mentally and emotionally. And I started to really just research and reach out for things that was going to help build me as the man I want to be, healthy, and mind, body, and soul. So that's really what triggered it. I was really I was done performing under my ability. Does that make sense? Like, we do that all the time, and realistically, there's no reason why we should do that. There's no reason, So that's really what did it for me. I had enough of being mediocre and not living up to my ability. So health was the first way to really move in that direction, because once you take care of your mind, your body, your spirit is solid, So
you got your mind in a place where you wanted to affect some change in your life. How, what was your nutrition like? What was your diet like a year ago before, right at that point? What, as opposed to where you are now?
Before I decided to take on the healthy lifestyle?
Yeah.
Before, I'll tell you this, being from the Midwest, it's all about steak and potatoes, brother. It's that and all those carbs. So that was a lifestyle. I love eating good food, and good food wasn't necessarily meaning it was healthy for me. So that was pretty much eating anything that tastes good. So
anything that wasn't nailed down.
Anything practically, but it had to have a good. Obviously had to taste good. I snacked. I ate a lot of snacks and things like that, but. I knew I had to make a change. I pretty much fell off the wagon from being that athlete and wasn't paying attention to my health and my body for a window of time. And then I just hit the that's enough start. So that's when I transitioned.
Yeah, because, you there was that day you looked in the mirror and you'd had enough.
Exactly.
You'd had enough. Yeah, but when I looked in the mirror, it was more like this. I really had enough.
That was pretty high pitch right there.
I know. That's what I meant. That was a life-changing moment, because, this just didn't cut it for me. It had to be. Yeah, that's what affected change in my life. That's what did.
That's business right there.
That's right. That's right. And so you went from just like, just kind of eating whatever tasted good. And I know, because where I've come from in Canton, it's all about the steak and potatoes and butter and salt. And
there
pop.
You go.
And vitamin D milk. Vitamin D milk.
Yes.
Which is like drinking heavy cream now. If I ever try to have vitamin D, I'm like, I need a spoon for it. But, yeah, I went home one time, back to Canton, and my mom had a crock pot going in the kitchen, and as opposed to the bedroom, and she had barbecued hamburgers in it. And I went over and just soaking in it. And I lifted up the lid and I looked in there, and I swear to God, there was a good, I don't think I'm exaggerating, a good 1.5 inches, maybe 2 inches of grease on top.
Whoa.
Oh, honey. Yeah, and so I'm like, oh, I'm scooping it off, and I did this probably 3 or 4 times. And I thought to myself, if I hadn't done it, no one would have. I'm like, oh, my God, they're eating this stuff.
Yeah.
They're eating it. Yeah. I'll never forget that. I was horrified. That's what coming to California did to me. Yeah. It made me aware of all that kind of stuff. But you're right. So now what are you eating now? What's your regimen now? Because I think now you've gotten involved with a particular organization and particular group, and that's the path that you're on, and this is really what's working for you.
Yeah, I'm currently adding supplements in my regimen, my nutritional diet, as well as protein. That's really helped me. Scope my body and really get the health results I currently have. I'm not sure if you heard of the company. I'm sure you have. But I currently get my results with Herbalife. I'm a health coach with them and sponsored with them. And I get amazing results because we actually have product, and our product fuels us at the cellular level. So we have the best doctors on our panel that's, creating our products. They're from the UCLA medical and science field. So we have the top doctors in the world that's putting our product together and, adding that along with, a healthy nutritional meal plan has really helped me sculpt, my body and get a lot healthier than I was, say a year ago.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Is this an affordable type of option for people, or is this something that people really need to plan for and budget for? Because people will, God bless us all. We all want to have, that beautiful, beach body, the P90X look. But getting it, we'll find any reason we can, any excuse we can not to do it. Is it cost prohibitive, or do you find that it's something that people can actually afford to do?
Well, it's definitely affordable. Here's what I do. I really have people take a look at it, right? A lot of times we don't put our health first, right? We'll actually spend money and invest money into things that's not beneficial to us. So I ask anyone who's interested, how serious are you about getting healthy? And then I'd say, would you put premium fuel in your car and not in your body? Then that would be my question, right? So ultimately that's what it comes down to. It's definitely affordable. And for most people, I'd say 80% of my clients are on a weight loss program. They're just trying to trim down, tone up, lower their body fat. And the type of regimen I would have them on eating less carbs and really focusing where they're going to save money on the food that they spend on the market, because they're used to buying a lot of processed foods versus produce, and that's the money that can be transitioned into their nutrition plan, which is going to help fuel them.
What would you say is the average cost per month, you would say? So trying to balance it out with what people might spend on a month for groceries, what would you say would an average cost for a realistic program for somebody? Let's say, like, if I wanted to do it, because I don't need to lose weight so much as I want to sculpt and tone and build.
Oh, I do. Tell me.
Well, there you go. So you have two. So here you have two clients here. One who wants to just sort of sculpt and build, and one who perhaps wants to lose some weight and tone. So what would you think would be an average monthly cost for Tuffet and then for myself?
Well, I definitely personalize the plans per each goal. What I will say is two things as far as numbers. What I will put out as a fact and a statistic is the average person spends anywhere from $400 to $600 a month on food. That's average, and that's just regular. That's $400 to $600. Like, if you break that down,
grocery and fast food and all that kind of stuff, right?
Exactly. So I'll just put that number out as the amount of food and money we spend on food, and that's really probably on the lower end, to be quite honest with you. But the nutrition plans that I work with and personalize, they typically range from $150 to about $360, and that's for a month. That really breaks down to how fast and how aggressive you want your goals. So I have three categories. There's fast, faster, and fastest. So it's really based on the individual client and how aggressive they would like to hit their personal goal. Me personally, when I got involved, I was the type of person, I'm all in. I want all in results, so I'm going to go all in. So I went in to the more premium plan, more in the 360 range, because I just want to invest in myself. And I knew if I did that, then, I would get the results I want. So, again, it's based on the individual's budget, but that's the range I typically work with, I'd say.
No, that's good. I like that holistic approach, because you really, it's amazing. People want to put up that wall, but look, you spent what, $10, $20 on those two cocktails at the Abbey in West Hollywood, plus your tip, but you won't invest, $150 to $200, $360 a month on your health. You Yeah, but so it's really about balancing how you use your money and how it affects you and what's going to personally benefit you. So I think that's a really I think your approach helps. It's got to resonate with people. It's got to ring those bells. It's got to because it's got to give them that call to action. Otherwise, you sort of, is your job to really kind of assess if they're ready for that kind of a commitment. How do you get somebody? How do you get somebody who's maybe teetering? How do you get them to that point where you motivate them to make that investment? What if Tuffet and I were kind of on the fence? How would you sort of motivate us to?
What I really do is I focus on your individual why. So, for example, say your goal was to tone up, right?
Mm-hmm.
I was like, okay, so why do you want to tone up? What does that mean to you? Once you get to your goal, what you visually see yourself. What would that mean for you, and how would that make you feel?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, I want to look in the mirror and go. I want to look in the mirror and be able to go. I'd tap that.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Okay. I like. Hey.
You know what I mean? I don't mean that, and I don't mean. I just want to go. There's a confidence. There's an inner confidence.
Right.
There's and plus I know, God, I'm in shape. There's a power there. You walk different. Your posture's different, and you carry yourself. And we all want to feel sexy. I want to be. I'm 47 years old, and I'm like, I want to feel sexy my entire life. Oh, I know. Why? Did I just lie about my age?
Totally lie. Oh my God.
I remember Grumpy Old Men. I love that comedy. And Sophia Loren at the time, I think she was in her 60s at that time, there was a scene where she first comes on in the movie, and she walks into this bar, and they pan up from the shoes all the way up her body as she's walking in. And here was a woman in her 60s. She has this red dress on and that auburn hair and this, she's a beautiful Italian woman, and she is just carrying herself with this sexuality and this, and I was like, okay, I'm as gay as they come, and I was like, I want to be with her. I was like, oh, yeah, and it was beautiful. It was so sensuous and beautiful, and just, to me, that's what I'm talking about, is that it comes from inside out. Sexy is as sexy does, and that's to me, that's that holistic approach for me. That's just my personal desire, and I want to be attractive to my partner too. I want my partner to be excited about being with me, and be proud to be with me, all that kind of stuff.
So let's say that was in depth, and I appreciate you going into that. So that's why I really focus on the individual's why. You really just think about that. Think about how passionate you were in expressing how that would make you feel, right? Mm-hmm. So what I would do then is tell you that's going to be our focal point. That's going to be your goal, right? You can visually see how you want to appear, but now you know how you feel to see that. And you expressed within the last minute or so really how that will make you feel. What we do is we take action upon passion, and you're really passionate about it. So that's what I really do with individuals. I help focus on what motivates them, and I make sure that's something we can focus on. So, for example, I would say, let's just think about that and visualize yourself in the mirror and say, hey, I'll tap that. That type of thing is what we focus on. So visually, connect with that feeling of, I have more confidence. I have that different walk, and now I can just go out into the world. That's what's going to motivate you. Nothing that I would say for myself would motivate you as much as what you want for yourself would motivate you. Does that make sense? I have clients, just to give you an example, I have a client say, I want to lose 20 pounds. Okay, well, what does that mean to you? Why do you want to do it? Well, I have my sister's wedding in March, and I just really want to get this off. Okay, awesome. Let's do that. Let's focus on that. Okay, what size do you want to be in your dress? I want to be this size. Okay, well, let's do this. And this is a little tip that I do. I say, okay, well, let's get a dress that size, and I want you to hang it up in a place in your house where you're going to see it all the time.
It's like your vision board.
That's going to get you fired up. It's like, I'm going to be in that dress. And if you see that dress every day, several times a day, and I'm able to really give you support from a nutritional standpoint and as a health coach, you're going to be more inclined to do it. Not because I say you should do it, because now you see a goal that you really want to hit. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I want to be a size 6'8".
You want to be say again?
I'm going to be a size 6'8".
Let's do it.
A 6 or
Let's
8.
go.
Yeah.
We can do that.
Maybe okay, 8. I'll do a solid 8. I'll just commit to a size. I want to be size 8.
Wow.
Yeah, I know. Tuffet, I can dream. So Tuffet, what's your goal? What do you want to do?
Oh gosh. See, I'm so torn because the one side of me says I want to get, I want to be back down to like a size 2, the way that I was in college, and I just want to be teeny, and I want to have some semblance of abs. And then on the other hand, I say, wow, these artificial standards of beauty that I'm constantly inundated with. Like, I'm a size 4, and I'm height weight proportionate. I'm 5'3" and I'm about 115. I'm totally height weight proportionate. And no, granted, not every me. I would love to be Jennifer Lawrence kind of tone. Like, that's, I think, would be the ideal. But there's another part of me that says you're in a power position as a female across the world that says, oh, but my body's still not good enough. And there's something about that makes me go, like this unrealistic standard of beauty. I'm able to do this because I'm able to afford to go out on a 2-3 times a week basis and get fresh food. I have access to fresh food. I have access to all that. So it's one of those things where every time I think about my own personal health and fitness, I like the personalized options that Mello's giving, but what can people do as like a big general thing, to little things that they can do to contribute to their health if they don't live in an area that has the fresh markets and the once a week farmers markets, and if you're living in an urban area and it's more, I want to say working class, it doesn't have the Whole Foods or the Trader Joe's or the fresh produce and things. What can you do when your options are really limited? Because I know I certainly spend maybe $200 a month on food. So when I went and did a diet that was just, I was just doing protein and vegetables and no fruits, no starches, no nothing, it cost me a good $400, and that was way too expensive for my budget. Right.
Well, again, it goes back to what I say, because, you had a lengthy question, but it's okay, so let's just touch this. Someone that lives in an urban area, or they're middle working class, there's healthy options in the market. My biggest thing is if you stay out of the aisles and stay in the produce, you'll be probably fueling your body the best way, even if you're not supplementing. If you stay in the produce aisles, lean meat, all veggies and things of that nature, that's an option. So we have a choice.
So stay on the outskirts of the store. Don't get sucked into the center where all the aisles are.
Everything in the aisles are processed, right? So everything in the aisles processed is high in carbs, so on and so forth, sugar, salt, sodium. So that's just going to really not help our health. But if you're eating produce, how can you be unhealthy if you're eating produce, right? So that's what I would say to somebody who say, okay, I don't really have a budget to do something, as far as, supplementing at that higher level. But, again, like I said, we're able to really plug in nutrition as far as, the Herbalife that I use based on the budget, and it's about, again, investing. You look at your body as a Lamborghini, you're going to put the right fuel in it. You know what I mean? So that's really what we should do. And I know you were saying that, you like really on the fence, like, okay, I want to go down to that size 0, right? But part of you is
0. Oh, what?
Oh my goodness.
not you, Michael. I wasn't talking about you, Michael.
Oh. All right now.
Sorry about
right.
that.
I want to be more full figured. No, yeah.
She said you said you want to come down to size 0, have this conflict. Yeah. Okay, I just want to stay where I am now, because of the society says you should look this way. I would say if I was staying in that lane, I would still be the way I was a year ago. But you know what was really important is I realized, my time here is temporary, and if I'm not doing things that make me happy, then, at the end of the day, am I living my life or somebody else's life that writes it for me, right? So that goes back to me saying, why do I need to live under my ability? You have the ability to be a size 0. You have the desire to do that. I think the challenge is then you consider what society may say. And I don't think that we should make a decision because the society says, okay, this is how a beautiful woman should look, and you can't feel at your best. Does that make sense?
Yes, absolutely. It's got to be self-generated.
I want to segue into our next little segment here, and it's a very short one. It's the shortest segment that we have on the show, and it is called Chapter 12. So, Mello, our lives are like chapters in a book. What is the title of your current life chapter? What would you call this chapter of life?
This chapter is self-development.
Self-development, and it seems to me like it's a healthy chapter. It's a good long chapter with lots of good information in it. So, are there lots of pictures too? Because we need pictures of those rock hard thighs for Tuffet to keep her motivated.
Yes,
absolutely. There's photos included and everything.
Let me tell you what, Tuffet, you could bounce quarters off his butt too, and they would. But I wouldn't do that personally because I need those for laundry. Because I'm afraid they would ping off, and they would fly. I wouldn't be able to find them.
Yeah.
You want to keep those quarters, Michael. You don't want to lose those quarters.
I do. So I won't be throwing quarters at you. So don't worry about that. So, but I'm just letting Tuffet know in case she gets the desire to do that. But I personally need it for laundry. So, no, that going into our little segment here is the next segment is just the tip. Our dream harp. I think our harpist went on strike. That was a very short segment, very little short sound cue. So, just the tip is a how-to moment where our featured guest tonight we have Mello Childs, health coach, and I will give you just enough info to get you started. Now, after all, Mello, we're entertainment prostitutes, not whores. We don't just give it away for free. So, just the tip. Our featured show tip this week is 10 tips for staying in shape during the holidays. Don't you think that's apropos?
Yeah, that's all.
Thank you, guys. You guys, you're not falling asleep. Are you guys drinking? What's going on?
I'm not tipping anything back.
I'm just saying. Okay, our 10 tips for staying in shape during the holidays is posted on, I love this, philfatdiaries.com.
That's awesome.
Okay.
Yeah, that's all I'm saying, by Phil Lempert. And he says that the holidays are not only notorious for long lines, major traffic, and familial tiffs, like tiffs that Tuffet may have with her mother, with her expectations.
Yum.
Yeah, exactly, and it's exactly what it sounds like. I love that. But also, we also have the holidays are also associated with super rich foods, overindulgence, and lower activity levels, all of which add up and becomes part of what we all dread, holiday weight gain. It happens to almost everyone, whether it be 1 pound, half a pound, 5 pounds, the weight goes on and it rarely comes off. 5 Christmases later, or 5 Christmas Kwanzaa's later, you have a significant weight gain on your hands or hips. So what to do? Here is our list, Mello and Tuffet. Here is our list of 10 tips to make sure you stay in shape over the holiday season and avoid putting lose weight as one of your New Year's resolutions. So we're going to work through our top 10 list here, and I want you both to just chime in as you see fit. Get that? As you see fit. See how I use the word fit? That's very good. Thank you. Thank you. I'm so good. It just comes right out. Okay, here goes. Number 1, stay active. One of the major causes of weight gain during the holidays is a lack of activity. Time is spent doing holiday errands, which makes us more tired, less motivated, and not wanting to stick to our routine. Discuss.
You want us to
Okay,
stay active?
don't chime in all at once.
You want me to talk about staying active? Well,
yeah, you tell us about staying active.
Well,
You're the one.
I'm active in the first place. What?
Well, Mello, you're the one who ran over here, you ran all the way over here. You ran 3 miles to get to the studio. So, tell us about staying active.
No, the Gazelle did. I drove my little moped. Make no mistake.
I know.
I like to sit down when I'm being active.
Right?
Well, one thing that could be helpful during the holiday, instead of driving to the local market, walk to the local market. That's an easy way to stay active. You're accomplishing picking up your groceries from the market, and you're still getting some cardio in.
Yeah, get one of those big
true.
carts. Because when I lived in New York City, I had one of those big, collapsible kind of carts that you could fill up with groceries, and you could. Would you say? Of course.
I said, oh, of course you did. You were so good.
Well, yeah, because I lived in a 4th floor walk up on the Upper East Side, 332 East 93rd Street, apartment 4A.
Oh my God.
And and the stairwells were so narrow, I had to carry my groceries in front and back of me. And I'm not a big person.
Oh.
Right?
Yeah, you're teeny weeny. Yeah.
Right? Don't say teeny weeny. That makes me a little.
Teeny weeny.
Never say teeny weeny in the same together. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, so stay active. Very good. Very good. I love it. So go to the grocery store. Walk, you little lazy butt. Get over there. And then get your groceries and walk home. So now, and that's a very good piece of advice, Mello, because you know what? You're less likely to get all that heavyweight junk food to throw on your backs because you don't want to have to lug all that. Smart man. I love it. There's
He's a pro.
Madness behind your method here. Keep it keep on the outskirts, on the outside of the aisles. Stay away from the aisles of the grocery store. Number 2, starve yourself. One of the most common mistakes people make is to go hungry all day so that they can afford the calories later on at the holiday party that they will be attending. You would be so hungry by the time you get to the party that you will forget about any sense of the word moderation or control. Discuss.
I do that with my aunt's food, So I don't quite starve myself. See, I'm the worst kind, where I don't really starve myself, because what's the point in that? I realize that I'm supposed to be eating in moderation. But then it's the food that I only get once a year, so you have that little voice inside your head that says, well, it's only once a year. You can have 7 instead of 3 of whatever it is that I'm eating. Because you have that it's only once a year. You're totally fine. You'll be able to work this off, no problem. No.
So how do you work with that kind of a response, Mello? How would you talk to somebody with that?
Yeah, what do you
response?
do?
Okay, well, first, I definitely I believe in rewarding yourself. A reward is not a punishment. So let's think about that. Holidays come around. It's a lot of, cakes and pies and things of that nature. I'm not saying don't touch it at all. But what I'm saying is if you're going to have a slice, have a slice. If you go overboard, now you're hurting yourself. You know what I mean? So reward yourself versus hurt yourself. So, moderation is about self-control and just knowing, okay, I have a goal. Again, that's going back to your why, being connected to that, because the holiday season is not necessarily off-season. It's just, it's a time where you want to kind of reward yourself and enjoy, the holiday spirit. So there's nothing wrong with that. And as long as you're sticking to a regimen where you're eating 2 to 3 hours, you won't binge eat.
Yeah.
You won't binge eat, and you won't eat a ton of junk. So, we should be eating 2 to 3 hours a day, even throughout the holidays. So
might I suggest, too, Tuffet, that you just staple that dress to your forehead.
Exactly.
The dress that he told you that you want to get into.
I think that's what I need to do.
Yeah. You staple that dress to your forehead.
Like Bridget Jones and just have that little version of me on top of the model's head, and just have that kind of tattooed on my hand, like hennaed on my hand, so I can see it anytime I'm going to put something in my mouth.
Yeah, exactly. I like that. That's good.
Or you could just put the wallpaper on your phone so you don't have to be so permanent on the tattoo part.
Well, see, but that's the thing. I can always avoid my phone. Make no mistake. I will find a way to avoid it. I think, like most people, I will find some way to rationalize in that moment what it is that I want.
We'll do a henna
My
tattoo
short-term immediate gratification is always so much more gratifying than like long-term success.
Well, I think that's good. We'll do a henna tattoo instead, so it's not permanent.
Exactly.
Number 3, don't let your fat diary go. If you stick to your normal routine of writing down what you eat, you will be able to monitor your caloric intake better. Research shows that people who keep a fat diary actually consume 15% less food than those who do not. Now, I have an issue with calling it a fat diary. I don't think that's a positive. What do you think?
All the people I know that are health professionals, they say it's a food journal. So you can just get an accurate idea of what's going in. Yeah. Because so many of us eat in front of the television, or we eat on the road, or we're snacking on something that's, sitting on somebody's desk, we're doing so much eating that we're not even aware of. That's why I like the name food journal, because then I'm it sounds scientific, and look at me examining what it is that I'm eating. I'm observing.
I have a food journal. Mm-hmm. What do you think? What do you think, Mello?
I think that's cool. What I do with my clients is we have meal picture day. So imagine you taking a picture of your meal, right? And if you're doing that, a couple times a week, that's a journal. But visually, you'll see what you're eating, and if you're taking a picture of a lot of junk food, you'll realize you're way off of where you should be. Yeah. So I think that's a good tip.
Just do me a favor.
That's a great idea, a food picture. Because it really does. It kind of justifies all those meals that you're going to post on Facebook. People are like, oh, my gosh, I don't want to see your food anymore. You'd be like, can you be encouraging, please?
Yeah, I don't want to see your food on Facebook. I don't want to see it.
My trainer nutritionist, Mello Childs, told me this was healthy for me.
Fine. It's motivated. Now I'm motivated.
See? Oh, finally we've that elusive justification for photos of meals on Facebook.
Right. Now I have a reason to believe in them. Damn it. Number 4, choose healthier options. There are some healthy options that you can eat during the holidays, as Mello has already reminded us about. White meat turkey is a great lean protein. Vegetables that aren't laden with butter, salad not drenched in dressing, sweet potatoes, and cranberries are also options. Really think about the ingredients that you normally use, and then think about how you can make the dish healthier. You can substitute certain things like applesauce or like yogurt instead of butter and some other type really fat-filled type. Yeah. So look for those options.
Paleo alternatives. Yeah.
Mhm. Thoughts, Mello?
There's always healthy options. Last Thanksgiving, I helped my mom cook a healthy Thanksgiving meal. It was amazing. You don't have to substitute the holiday taste for unhealthy. We made this tangerine cranberry chicken, and it was amazing. So adding the cranberry and it kept it on the holiday side, and it was amazing. Like it was. I've never done that, and I came up with the idea. I was like, Mom, let's do this. Tangerine cranberry chicken bake, and she's like, okay, and we did. It was really good. And if you could think about the flavors, that's definitely right in the holiday spirit, right? And I tell you, it was not. We didn't sacrifice flavor for that meal. It tasted just as good as we would have eaten anything else that was not as good for us. So yeah, that's
your new marketing. That's your new marketing phrase. That's your new campaign. Mello Childs. I don't sacrifice flavor.
Woo! It's all about the flavor, baby. It's about the flavor.
It's all about the flavor, Mello Childs. Yeah, and you're a good son. You helped your mom make a healthy Thanksgiving meal. That was all about the flavor. I love it. We love you even more, Mello. We love you even more. Now, which leads us to, speaking of love, number 5, enjoy what you love. We all have those certain dishes or items that just bring us back to childhood and make the holiday special, right, Tuffet? Go ahead. Indulge. Give yourself permission to enjoy the holidays. Just enjoy with a sense of moderation, Tuffet. If you want to splurge on dessert, maybe you are a little more careful with your entree choice, Tuffet.
I know,
Karumph. So that's a good one. So moderation keeps coming up. I think that's a good, and I love what you said earlier, Mello, about a reward is not a punishment. So don't turn that reward into a punishment by having that, half a pie.
Yeah.
Now that reward turns into a punishment when you do that because you're punishing your body, right?
Mm-hmm. Because especially when you take a slice of pie and then you cut it in half, thinking I'll only have half this slice, and then you go back and you've done that and you've done it 3 times, so you actually had 1.5 slices.
Yeah, that's why I can't be anywhere near a box of donuts. I can't.
Oh my God, Entenmann's glazed Pophams are like from the devil. I think Rush Limbaugh invented this.
The Devil's Mistress has a franchise, and that's what he specializes in. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Now this number 6 is very, very important. Don't try and start a new diet during the holidays. That just screams binge. You will only be setting yourself up for disappointment, resentment, and depression. Oh, that's depressing. You get that enough from your family members. Mom, you don't need that from yourself. Stay healthy, but don't be too restrictive. Right?
I think you don't want to be those annoying people that are like, oh, well, I'm on this diet where I can't have dairy and I can't have sugar and I can't have starch. And then you just feel bad when you eat that stuff around them. You're like, it's the holidays, though. Mashed potatoes and it's so bad that glycemic index. I'm trying to stay around a 75, and
I'm avoiding
awful
gluten. I can't have gluten.
Yes, exactly. Oh, I'm gonna be gluten free. Are you allergic to gluten? No, I'm just trying to lose 3 pounds.
Now, would you recommend somebody starting a routine, a diet, a new starting a program with you during the holidays? What do you think? I think there's can work around. Yeah,
absolutely. I'll tell you one thing. Diet is taboo in my world because, like I said, I really focus on lifestyle. So most of my clients are looking for a change, not only in their health but their physical. And this is the perfect time for a diet. I mean, a nutrition plan. It's a perfect time because, first of all, you're getting a head start. Well, I got clients that are starting right now, and they're as fired up as they would be in the midsummer because I talk to them and they're like, you know what? I'm ready to start now. Why not start today? Most people are going to start December 31st or January 1st. They're going to say, I got a New Year's resolution. I want to start now. We have a chance to have a new beginning at any point. And those people who are fired up to do it, this is the time to do it now. Because if you push through the holiday, everything else is going to be easy. The rest of the year is going to be easy. So point. Good time to do it.
You are really motivating us. Can you feel it?
I love it.
Can you feel it? I love it. I
feel like
can
I
see
could
that.
totally do this. I could totally have some success by January 1st. So when we're all making our resolutions, they'll be like, well, I just want to maintain. I don't need to lose. I just need to maintain.
Right. I don't want to lose any more weight. I just want to maintain.
And that's so much more of a realistic resolution that seems attainable than I want to be this, that kind of like huge Everest-style battle.
Yeah.
Yep. That's true.
I created this hashtag, we've been on that. So think about that mindset while you're going ahead and you get started right now while everybody's indulging during the holiday season. You can kind of look at other people like, okay, you guys are going to catch up come January 1st, but you already got a head start. So it's like, you're embracing something way ahead of the game. And we all want to be innovators in some ways, right? We all want to be that person that our friends or family is bragging about. Oh, you know what? Mello lost 10 pounds over the holiday. Can you believe it? And then you're the table, you're like, yeah, I did lose 10 pounds on the holiday while you guys are gaining 15,
Yeah, and I don't call it a diet. I call it a live it.
A live it,
What do you think of that?
I like that.
Yeah, that's a live. I think die, it just sounds negative. It just sounds horrible. Die it. It just has the word die in it, like, I don't like that. So, but I didn't make that up. That is actually from an SNL skit years ago when Delta Burke was on, and she did a weight loss skit, And she said, I don't call it a diet, it's a live it. And I went, oh, that's actually very good. So,
wow.
I think that's
Delta, you're fabulous.
Thank you, Delta. But don't go blonde ever again. Don't do that. Remember, she went blonde? Not good. It's not good. She's a beautiful brunette.
Yeah.
Keep it that way. I know.
Yeah.
So now number 7 really, really resonates. I love this one. Holidays are days. Yes, days. Not weeks, not months, but days. Treat them that way. Enjoy yourself on the particular holiday, but then go right back to your normal, healthy eating plan. Just because it's the day before Christmas Eve doesn't mean it's a holiday.
Yeah.
And it's a goodie.
I think that's the big one that everybody says. It's like, oh, great, Halloween candy starts. I have till January 1st. It's cold out. I don't want to work outside. I get my big clothes on. It's totally fine.
Yeah.
But you're right.
Yeah, I can hide that.
There's only really
that
what? Halloween candy, Thanksgiving, Christmas Eve, Christmas Day. So you get 4 days. Or Hanukkah.
And then you find that you get to around Christmas time, you stand up, and under that third fold, some of that leftover Halloween candy falls out. You've really gone too far.
Yeah.
You've gone too far. So, what do you think about that, there, Mello? As we're like, are you still there?
I'm still there. I'm still here.
I love it.
That, the first thing I thought about was comfort food. This is a comfort season. So everyone's justifying, eating because it's colder and eating unhealthy. Let me say eating unhealthy because it's colder and they eat all the junk. I'll tell you personally, I'm in phase 2, and even when you're working out and you're on a nutrition plan, there's different phases. I'm in phase 2, which is bulking season. I'm putting on layers but the right way. So I'm eating more complex carbs, which are healthy for me, but I am getting a layer on me now, and
I'd say you're putting on the layer the right way, and I think Tuffet would agree.
There you go. So just not getting caught up in the comfort of eating just anything, So,
which is very wise of you, very salient of you, because number 8 says take time for you. It goes without saying that this season is all about stress. Find something that will curb your stress that is not eating. This is the easiest time to turn to food for, like you said, comfort. There is a ton around, and it's all super indulgent. Give yourself another method to deal with stress. You more than deserve it.
Yeah.
So how do you suggest people deal with stress so that they don't always go to those comfort foods for their comfort? How do you suggest that people find comfort? What other options can people use to tap into that give them a sense of comfort? Besides tapping, that's a total different kind of comfort.
Take it out on the treadmill. Take it out on the treadmill. You got to stress, get on there, run a couple miles, get that cardio in. It's a twofold thing, By the time you get done running, that stress is gone, and you got your respiratory up, and you got some
you
good
do get
cardio.
those endorphins. Those endorphins do kick in. Like the beginning part. You're right.
No, they do not.
Part, oh, they do. They do. You're fine. Once you. Oh, I'm going to be right behind you, pinching your ass. So your endorphins. I'm going to kickstart those endorphins, Tuffet. So,
oh, lovely.
Well, we'll light them. Okay. And I think, Mello, you're going to agree wholeheartedly, especially with number 9. Give or ask for the gift of health. Gym memberships, exercise equipment, athletic apparel or shoes, gift certificates to a spa or personal trainer or health coach. There are many health-related gifts that you can give or ask for that would help someone you love or yourself, Tuffet and Michael, stay healthy all year long. It will give a great jump start to those New Year's resolutions that we normally give up by February. Make a commitment to your body and teach others to do the same. Mello?
Couldn't agree more. I have clients who's, like I said, fired up starting doing this holiday season because they want to get a jump start on the new year. But most importantly, one also thing that's helpful is, and we have seasonal flavors as far as our protein shakes. This season we had a pumpkin spice. So just imagine somebody say, you know what, hey, I want to get a pumpkin spice protein shake. Can I get that for the holidays? I got clients asking their parents, hey, I want to get a nutrition plan for Christmas.
That's great.
So
yeah.
Just
do they have eggnog?
Yeah.
They have eggnog with rum, a rum chaser, protein shake.
I know, right?
Okay.
I'm serious. I want the eggnog protein shake with a rum chaser.
I may have to put that out there and see if they're going to come up with that one.
All right. I appreciate it. And have your people contact my people, and then we'll make it happen. Okay.
Bam.
I know. Bam. Bam. We're done. We've turned into our little or cook. What's his name? Anyway, I can't think of any names right now. I'm not on it. So number 10. Eat, drink, and be merry. Now, we don't mean merry as like, my friends in West Hollywood call each other merry. We eat, drink, and be merry. Have fun. It can't be said enough. This is a season that is full of joy, love, and many good things. If you let it be just that. Let your body and mind, I think Mello will agree, let your body and mind tell you what it needs, wants, and can do without. Live a little, but don't go overboard if it's only going to make you miserable the next day. Which is another way of saying don't turn that reward into a punishment. It is supposed to be fun, and it will be if you stay true to yourself and your needs. I think that kind of wraps it up nicely.
Yeah.
It does.
And I feel motivated. I think this is I love that you're getting to the heart of the why. The why. Understanding what your goals are and what they truly mean to you, so that there's a sense of ownership for what you're doing, and there's clarity with the path that you're on. Because I think Tuffet brings up some really good points, and not only Tuffet, do you deal with those things as a woman, but as a gay man, I can tell you, if you go to West Hollywood, look at all the billboards, look at all the magazines, and I mean, you talk about pressure on gay men to have a certain body type. It's just as the pressure is on us just as much as it is as women in our culture in terms of beauty products and
absolutely.
Yeah, 'cause I've always found it really interesting that men's clothing sizes are double digits, start in the double digits, and women's go to a zero. I'm like, what is a size 0? That's not even a size. It's 0. It means nothing. So that whole psychological game that is played on us in terms of men have to be big and strong, and women have to be petite and feminine and all this,
and little,
and little wee things that big men, strong men can take care of. So, anyway, I think it's just helping us, Mello, helping us define our own path, our own goals, and really helping people change their lives and have a lifestyle. Because this is not a diet, it's not a fad, it's not a hobby. This should be something that you commit to on a lifelong path. And I think that you're well on your path. I mean, I see what you're on, and I see how excited you are. A year later, you seem like you're just as motivated as you were when you first decided to take that leap. So kudos to you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Now, let's go ahead and segue into our Jukebox 5 segment, because, music, as we mentioned earlier, music and dancing, very important to all of us. And so our Jukebox 5 segment is our last segment of the show before we say goodnight. I've put on my artistic blinders, and I've grabbed 5 musical artists by the buns to share with our guests and listeners. One of our suggestions this evening came from you, Mello, so we'll get to that shortly. But I was inspired by the nature of our discussion tonight, and so this first song came to mind when I was a youth, which was earlier than the two of you. So let's see if this actually brings up memories for the both of you as well, and it ties into our discussion this evening. So let's give it a listen. Yes, that was Physical,
Yeah.
sung by Olivia Newton-John from her 12th studio album, Physical, of the same title, of the same name. It was released in September 1981. I was a teenager. I was 15, and this is our 15th show. What a coincidence. The song was an immediate success, shipping 2 million copies in the United States, being certified platinum, and spending 10 weeks at #1 on the Billboard Hot 100, ultimately becoming Newton-John's biggest American hit. The song was nominated for the Grammy Award for Best Female Pop Vocal Performance, and she won the Billboard Award for Top Pop Single. Physical went on to become the biggest selling single of the entire decade of the 80s.
Wow.
Yeah. And if you've seen, right? Do you remember the video?
Yes.
Not much. I remember the video.
Oh, honey, go on to the YouTube and watch that video. It looks like it was. Woo, it's the gayest video ever. It was shot in. It looks like it was shot in a West Hollywood gym, not unlike the one that we attend, but back in its heyday. And it's just like, wow.
It was the best thing ever. I mean, I wanted the leg warmers.
Yes.
I wanted the leotards. I wanted those sweatbands like you would not believe.
Oh, absolutely. That was just, it was a craze, a major craze.
Good.
And I loved that song. It was a lot of fun. But the song really isn't about working out in a gym. But we'll let everybody else discover what it is on their own if they don't already know. So moving along. I have found this evening to be very motivational, and especially working through our top 10 list, or just the tip list. And I think you really helped Tuffet and I really get more focused on where we are and what we want and what we can do in terms of our holistic approach to our lifestyle, which will affect us mind, body, and spirit. And I love that aspect. And I find this next particular tune to be inspirational for obvious reasons. So let's give a listen. Yes, that was the theme from Rocky, Gonna Fly Now, by Bill Conti. Released in February 1977. Were you guys even born yet?
No.
Thank you. Released in February 1977 with the movie Rocky, the song became a part of American popular culture after main character Rocky Balboa completed his daily training regimen while the song played. The song finishes as Rocky completes his famous run up the Rocky steps of the Philadelphia Museum of Art and raises his arms in a victory pose. So, this is what I propose, Mello, is that after Tuffet and I successfully complete a workout regimen and plan with you, we're filming along the way, and we do a montage, and that song will be in the background. That's going to be our...
I'm down.
Yeah. What do you think, Tuffet? Yeah.
Good call.
And we do a run-up of some steps that look like those steps in downtown L.A. You're in that dress. I'm in I tap that outfit, whatever that may be.
Body yellow shorts.
Yeah, well, there you go, my Bali shorts, and we give our victory, arms up in the air, our victory pose at the top of the stairs.
Yeah,
I think that's the plan. I like that plan.
It's good.
Yeah, you like that? Thank you for your support, Mello. I really appreciate it. Now, this next song was your contribution, and so we're going to play it and then talk about it because this is a group that I'm not familiar with. This is kind of a new group on the scene. So let's take a listen, and then we'll talk about it.
Yeah, perfect.
Good.
Amok by Atoms for Peace. Amok is the debut album by the alternative rock band Atoms for Peace, released on February 25th of this year, 2013. The album features Radiohead singer Tom York on vocals, guitar, keyboards, and programming, Red Hot Chili Peppers bassist Flea, longtime Radiohead producer Nigel Godrich on production and programming, Joey Waronker of Beck and REM on drums, and Mauro Refrosco on percussion of Foro in the Dark. It received generally favorable reviews from critics. So how did you find out about this particular group, Atoms for Peace, and what is it about this particular debut album that kind of speaks to you right now? Why is it a favorite of yours?
Well, I think it's experimental. First of all, I love. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Sorry about that. I love Tom York's voice. First of all, I've always been a Radiohead fan. And then when I discovered, I was researching new music, and I was just looking for some different things, and I ran across Tom York, and I found out he was a part of his band, and then saw that Flea from Red Hot Chili Peppers, and I love Red Hot Chili Peppers. I was like, this is a crazy combo. Let me check this out, and I checked it out, and it's just really good. It's a good experimental band that hit on some really some social issues. You know what I mean? Just really some real life type of things. And kind of doing self-awareness with their music. So it's a little different. I like that offbeat.
Yeah, I envision myself after a strenuous workout that you've guided Tuffet and I through, and we're sitting there and we're resting at the end of our routine, and that's just kind of melding into that music and floating away and meditating and getting ourselves to that higher plane. It just seems like it has that meditative kind of quality to it. So I enjoyed it from that aspect. Yeah. So and
that's
and
a
this
good cool
next
down track.
Perfect wording. Tuffet, you are the best ever. I really appreciate it. We're partners in crime. Partners in grime. We're like partners in grime when we're dirty. So here we go. This next song, then, of course, is a perfect companion piece to the song we just heard. It's a little bit of throwback, but it ties into what we've talked about this evening, and perhaps my motivation for getting to that physical peak that I want to reach.
I'm a model, you know what I mean, and I do my little turn on the catwalk. Yeah, on the catwalk. Yeah, on the catwalk. Yeah, I shake my little tush on the catwalk. I'm too sexy for my cat, too sexy for my cat, for pussycat. I'm too sexy for my love, too sexy for my love. Love's going to leave me, and I'm too sexy for this song.
Well, I love a good finish. I'm too sexy for the song. I'm Too Sexy, sung by Right Said Fred. The song was rated number 49 on the 50 worst songs ever. Watch, listen, and cringe by Blender. In 2007, the song was listed as number 80 on the VH1's 100 Greatest Songs of the 90s. It was also ranked number 2 on VH1's 40 Greatest One-Hit Wonders of the 90s. Most recently, in 2010, the song was ranked at number 8 on AOL Radio's list of the 100 Worst Songs Ever, with Matthew Wilkening advising the reader, the next time the Brits try to knock our culture, just ask them where Right Said Fred had 4 top 30 singles in 1 year. So I was like, ooh.
Okay, I'm offended with that, because I think not only was that an absolutely excellent song, it brought bald men into the forefront of attractiveness. And it was these two guys that were still kind of average and ordinary looking, but the way that they sang that song was like, yeah, I'm sexy. And so everybody else in turn emulated that confidence. I am upset that that's on worst list. I think it should be on best list. It should be top 10 best songs.
Yeah. Well, it's listed at It's on a couple of good lists as well. Go ahead.
Yeah, I would definitely say I remember when that song first came out, and it gave a lot of people who didn't have confidence. I remember the uproar of everyone just boasting their personality and who they were, wearing it on their sleeve. I remember that like big time. So I think I have to agree with you on that. Like I think that's almost an iconic song. As weird as it sounds, it definitely had its place. You know what I mean? So
well, I'm going to go ahead and say it. I'm going to go ahead and say it. We are too sexy for this show.
Damn.
We are too sexy for the show.
Yep.
Okay?
Well, no.
Done and done. And which leads us up, we have a very eclectic Jukebox 5 segment this week. Yes, we do. And so I want to wrap it up because, Thanksgiving is just literally around the corner. So while this may not be a song per se, it does have music in it, very iconic music, speaking of icons. So let's give a listen and see what emotional response that we get from this one.
What's all the commotion? We've got another holiday to worry about. It seems Thanksgiving Day is upon us.
I haven't even finished eating all my Halloween candy.
Sally, Thanksgiving is a very important holiday. Ours was the first country in the world to make a national holiday to give thanks.
Isn't he the cutest thing?
What are you going to do on Thanksgiving, Charlie Brown?
My mother and Dad and Sally and I are all going over to my grandmother's for dinner. Why don't you come along, Linus? We can hold hands under the table.
Yes, that was Charlie Brown, Linus, and Sally discussing their plans for Thanksgiving on a Charlie Brown Thanksgiving, the 10th primetime animated TV special based on the popular comic strip Peanuts by Charles M. Schulz. It was originally aired on the CBS network on November 20th, 1973. Again, neither one of you were born, and won an Emmy Award the following year. As of 2012, the special is aired every November in primetime on the ABC network. How'd that make you feel, kids? Make you feel all
oh my God,
warm
I
and cozy?
love it. Everything is so great. That's what I love about the holidays, is that it encourages that goodwill by putting on all of our childhood specials. The Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer and, oh my gosh, the Island of Misfit Toys, and then the Charlie Brown things, and the Grinch Stole Christmas, and then Toy Story, whatever special Pixar is doing for whatever that is. It just, there's something about tapping into that 5-year-old version of you that really believes, that just believes wholeheartedly, that makes you nicer. And I think it's necessary when you're on a livet, when you're out there shopping. The sales.
Because you heard Sally. She's like, I haven't even finished eating my Halloween candy yet.
Yeah. I haven't.
Are you excited for Thanksgiving, Mello?
I am, man. This is always a big time. Every year around this time, it just really hits home for me. I came from a really big family. We always celebrate the holidays together, so it always brings that same feeling that you were talking about. Watching all the childhood cartoons, Frosty the Snowman, the Grinch Stole Christmas. All those, man. Those bring me back to the childhood days and. Just spend it with the family, so it's a special time for me, for sure.
I love it. I love it. I thank you both so much, I think, for a really, really sweet, fun, informative, and very motivating show this evening. Just, what an easy conversation to have and just very enlightening, because this is a topic that sometimes people are going to go, oh, my God, I don't want to hear about, having to get in shape. I love your personal very, very direct and approach, and it's so easy. You make it seem like just make that commitment because you're important. Realizing how important we are, and that we have to take care of ourselves, and making that a priority, and making that a gift that we can gift ourselves with or somebody else with, I think is a wonderful idea going into the holidays. So, thank you for. Thank you.
What better thing to give thanks for yourself? Really having an attitude of gratitude for yourself. Thank you, Mello.
And Thank you. And I want to give thanks to Mello and give thanks to you, Tuffet, because I'm thankful to have both of you in my life. I think you're both very bright lights, very talented, and very motivating individuals in your own unique ways. So thank you. I'm very thankful for the both of you, and I love you both.
Thank you,
Well, and with that in mind, we're going to cue the music. Thank you to our show's producer and our top of the show sidekick, our favorite, our over-the-moon, talented, vibrant, and ever-present Tuffet Schmelzle, and our featured guest, the fit as a fiddle, sexy, bright, and charming health coach, Mello Childs. For more information about our shows, our sidekick Tuffet, our guests, and topics, just go to lnrradio.com / #OHMTG. And remember to like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, and share with everyone you know. Thanks for tuning in to OMTG on the LNR Radio Network. We are broadcasting every Wednesday, and yes, we are live. Let's make it a date. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody.